Are we live? Hey guys, hold on. I'm like getting my whole life together.
Damn.
The dude was late again. He was late again,
What?
you
No, I'm not
guys.
having that. I'm not having that. I was fully on time for once in my
He
life,
was
people. I was
fully
fully on
late.
time. I'm
He was
not dealing with that slander today. I'm not having none of that. She's chatting nonsense to you lot, people. She's lying, man. Can't
oh my
trust her.
goodness. Fine, 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 fine. I was late. It was me this time.
Only
But
truth
I
is being
mean,
the devil, man.
I'm usually on time, so like I'm owed this one. It's fine. Um, let's see. Let me just let everybody know that we are live. Um, on today's show, we're going to talk about. Okay, my computer is not letting me do it. Okay, on today's show, we're going to be talking about Jorginho's new contract. We're also going to talk about Arteta, saying that we're going to have more of a fully fit squad, which is great. The schedule changes, which are kind of insane based on like Chelsea going further in like certain competitions. Now it's like messing up with our schedule. And then we're actually going to rank the 4 striker targets that were revealed the other day. So this should be a fun show. You guys know, like I'm trying to give you guys an opportunity to like get involved, So beyond just commenting and liking and all that kind of stuff, you guys can actually vote on the poll and let us know what you want to talk about first. And then you guys get to set the schedule. Um, Diluted. How are you
Yes.
doing?
I'm sweet, man. I'm sweet, man. As you said, we got a lot to talk about. Bit bored because Arsenal aren't playing until Monday. It's like Arsenal's a drug in that sometimes there's fixtures every week and you can't get enough of it. But when we miss them, just want to see us play, man. Really, especially because we're indirectly fighting for the league. I'm quite pessimistic on such, but just miss the boys, man. I'm in good spirits, man. Hope you and everyone in the chat is as well.
Yeah, I'm feeling good right now. Because we're winning hella games and stuff like that.
Amen.
Um, yeah, exactly. What did you think of the uh who did we play last game? It's so weird. I always forget.
Newcastle. How can you forget?
Yeah, because it's like, I don't know, they're all running together. How'd you feel about the game? How'd you
How,
feel
how
about
do I feel about the Newcastle game? First things first, like happy that we got 3 points. Obviously, as I said, I don't think we're winning the league title. Sorry, guys, but I want to see us run it to the wire. I don't want it to be like last season where we've kind of fallen off into the last game of the season. If we control the controllables and take 3 points where we can, and we're reliant on Liverpool and City to drop points, and obviously we've got City in March. We just keep it going. Obviously, in relation to the Newcastle game, scored a lot of goals, great positive performance. Jorginho absolutely bossed it with Declan Rice. Declan Rice looked very good on the left-hand side, and Kiri and Martinelli also played quite well. Saka, the star boy, doing what he's doing. It's a shame we didn't get a clean sheet. I think we could have got one there. I don't think we had to concede. I think that came because there was a bit of complacency. Naturally, we got a bit tired, and I think the subs kind of disrupted the rhythm. But all in all, man, we've been doing what we're supposed to do at the Emirates. And in line with the recent games, our squad is down to the bare bones. I know we're going to get onto players returning, but the players that have come in, we're just ticking over. And it's lovely to get revenge on Newcastle and Eddie Howe's men after, how the game at their place went. So yeah, man. And obviously Kai Havertz did well up front again. So yeah, individually and collectively handled what we needed to handle. So I'm happy, man. Just nothing more on that.
Yeah, for sure. It's just like the way that we're playing right now is like, I wish we were playing like this from the beginning, but I feel like in order for us to play this way, we kind of had to go through some trials and tribulations. I feel like, I don't know how you feel about this, but I think that Timber Thomas Partey injury really kind of like threw a wrench in whatever Mikel's plan was, and he had to kind of like move things around. And
I think
so
Timber,
now we're
yeah, Partey, I'm not sure, man. He's always injured, man. As much as I love him as a footballer,
yeah, well,
it's a bit boring now.
less said about that, the better. Because
Yeah,
every time I talk about it, people are like, "Well, Jess, what do you mean? He's world class," and I'm just like, I don't care. Like, genuinely, he's not on the pitch enough for me to be like sitting here like crying about him.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. It's like whatever. But let's see what you guys are saying on the poll. We are going to start off with. We're going to start off with Georgie Porgy's new deal, because that's what I want to talk about first, anyway. Jorginho is going to get a new deal. That is what the word on the street is. It's going to be a 1+1. His contract would end this summer, and so basically we're just like triggering the extension. And he's been here just over a year, and if you had to rate his time at Arsenal so far, what would you give him out of 10?
7, really, maybe even 8. I think, many people, when the man signed for the football club, and I've been wrong a lot of the times. Did I think Jorginho was the difference maker? Was he the guy to take us to another level, etc., when he signed for the club? No, but I think it was a great alternative, considering the Caicedo thing failed. He brings a wealth of experience. Obviously, he's very intelligent in how he plays football, and he almost is like an extension of Mikel Arteta's coaching staff, and he's doing his own badges. So I think he's been a quality signing, again, according to the game state and the requirements of certain games, typically the bigger games, or I call them the chess matches, the Artetas against Peps, the Artetas against Klopps and Eddie Howe's, etc. I think that's where Jorginho is involved. In relation to a new deal, I mean, I can't say it's not deserved. If that's what Mikel Arteta wants to do and he believes to keep him, fair enough. Personally, I would like to maybe, considering the fact that he's got a 1-year extension, could you not just run that into next season? I won't say he's a charity case, but it kind of feels like it's a bit sentimental, really. But you'd imagine Jorginho will remain on the peripheral things even more so last season. So I'm not really fussed. And, again, I wonder what that means for Thomas Partey, really, because, we tried to get him off the wage bill last season. Probably his days are numbered at the Emirates. So maybe, Jorginho's a squad filler, really, but he's doing his thing. So well deserved, man.
Yeah, I think there's several things here that, like, people usually only look at the talent level of players and they're like, well, Thomas Partey is better than Jorginho, so Thomas Partey should be the priority or he should stay. But there's so many different factors that go into whether or not a player should stay. Wages, I think, is a massive one of those. Like, Jorginho's on like 100 and something thousand pounds per week, which sounds like a lot, but for a team that's in the Champions League, that's like a base level for a squad guy is like 100 million, or 100,000 pounds per week. But when somebody's on like 200,000 pounds per week plus, that's the kind of wages you're giving to a starter or somebody that plays a lot of minutes. And so I do think that comes into the thought process. Also, Jorginho has probably been more available when Arteta has needed him. And so I think that comes into the thought process. And somebody just needs to take over the El Neni role. I don't think Jorginho staying means that we don't address midfield in the summer. I think it just means that, like, El Neni goes. Basically, El Neni goes, Jorginho takes that spot, and then whoever we bring in as a midfielder probably takes over Thomas Partey's position. That's how I imagine things going in the summer. What ripple effect do you think this is going to have on summer plans in terms of, like, Jorginho's like more of a deep line playmaker? Does that mean we don't need somebody like a Zubimendi, who I think a lot of us view as more of that deep line playmaker? Should we go for something different?
I
Because
mean, to me, I assume that it's one midfielder in the summer versus two. I still think you need to move for midfield. You look at our defensive options, you look at our attacking options, give or take, excluding a few. They tie into our philosophy and the system we're doing with young, impressionable players that are great today and can be amazing tomorrow. We don't quite have that luxury in midfield. Obviously, Declan Rice is positively the exception to the rule. You go through the other midfielders, the El Nenes, the Jorginhos, the Parteys. You question if they're going to be here long term. That is the one area of the field, so it shouldn't affect what we're doing. We need a younger model of Jorginho, if I'm completely honest with you. So it's like you said, you take over the El Nene role, with the greatest of respect to El Nene and Jorginho, but you still need that midfield partner for Declan Rice on a consistent basis, really, for me.
And who is that? I'm putting you on the spot.
I don't have a clue, man. I mean, I've been waffling about Zubimendi forever. I'm a big fan of Douglas Luiz. I'd say them two would be high up the priority list, really, off the top of my head, man. I just want someone very cultured on the ball, someone that gives us what we need in that left eight, someone that, as a minimum, does what Xhaka did, and to another level, really and truly, which I don't think we have that. Jorginho's a quality player. Does he have the legs to play 3 times in 10 days? Probably not. Again, as we said earlier, Jorginho is great when it's a chess match. When the games are kind of open, kind of like at Stamford Bridge, that's where he kind of struggles. And one thing I like about Arteta is it's basic. Every manager should. He knows his players' strengths and weaknesses. That's why the Kyrgios experiment at this moment in time inverting. He's gone back to being a traditional guy, and many other things, man. Kai Havertz up front, freeing him from build-up play. We need to address midfield. If we don't address midfield, we're not going to where we want to go as a football club. I honestly believe that, and we're going to learn that lesson time and time again.
Idealistically, like, you would want somebody that could play instead of Declan Rice, but also play with him, whatever that looks like.
6 and an 8.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I think, like you said, the Zubimendi shout is probably really good. I feel like Arteta probably really, like, if I had to imagine who's pushing who, I would imagine, like, not to be like totally obvious, but Arteta probably is like pushing Zubamendi, and like I could see Edu more pushing like a Douglas Luiz, because like the obvious ties and all that kind of stuff. But they would both be good options, I feel like. Both kind of do the same-ish kind of stuff. They could play with or without Declan Rice, like make him better, all that kind of stuff, you know. So it would be like, I don't want to say it'd be hard to get it wrong. I know Arsenal can fuck this up, you know, if they can, but it feels very obvious to me to move Partey on, bring in like a top quality midfielder that's going to play 90% of the games, that could also step in for Declan Rice. And just move on and do what we're supposed to do. Jay says, do you like the idea of extending Partey to protect his value? Read a rumor that we are giving him a new contract as well.
Respectfully, what value is there to protect really and truly? Because Thomas Partey is an amazing footballer. You know, if it was just as white and black as football, yes, but you add in his age, the wages he's on, the wages he might or might not get at another club. Obviously, for all his ability, the best quality he could have is being available. He's a flight risk in that regard. So I don't really understand protecting what value really. If anything, we're kind of shooting ourselves in the foot, giving him a contract again. There is some rumors that Partey himself has an extension of a 1 year in his deal. So maybe there's some wiggle room, but you know, based on the rumors, you tried to move him on last year. The man isn't fit. So as much as Arteta, who, you know, never plays down Partey's impact and how important he is to the squad, he's been forced to deal without him really. So I can't really see it. And, you know, again, when you look at half of these contracts at Arsenal Football Club, players that have more time to run on their contracts than Partey have got new deals. We're in talks with other things. You could imagine if you was a fly on the wall at London Coley, Partey's name is on some sort of contract list or some sort of contract negotiation. So you'd imagine a decision's already been made. Of course, you know, if he stays fit, he plays and shows his quality, the narrative could change around things. But yeah, man, I don't think there's no need to give Partey a new deal, really. And in Partey's interest, does he, you know, we got to remember, I'm sure he loves being in London. I'm sure he loves playing for Arsenal and everything he's done here, but it's a job at the end of the day. What does he want to do? Does he want to go back to Spain? He's always linked with Juventus, whether there's legitimacy in that rumor is another thing, but does he want to go there? Does he want to get a Saudi payday? You know, we hear this off the field rumors. I don't know. I don't really want to get into it because, again, it's neither here nor there, but that could be a factor. Yeah, I don't think it's an extension thing. If it was just on quality, 100%. But as just said, there's just several factors. So yeah, it's probably what we're at with Thomas.
Yeah, and I think as long as we replace properly, it won't come back to bite us. I feel like moving on from players never really is that big of a deal when you get the recruitment right in the summer. And I just feel like maybe we missed the mark this past summer. That's why we're looking at some of the decisions and constantly going back and forth. But like, he's just somebody that I feel like we just have to move on from for so many different reasons. And it's really like it's the only thing that really is like not ever a question is his quality. But that's not the only reason to keep a player, you know? So I think Jorginho is the right person to extend because he can fill in a backup role, which I feel like Thomas Partey and the wages that he has right now, you cannot justify a backup role for somebody on that level of wages. We're just not, I don't think we're in a position to do that. And just think about being able to give those wages to somebody that can play 90% of the games. You know, I think that's so important, you know? So yeah, like it's not shade or anything like that. It's just like the reality. Batman says J20 deserves it. Let's not forget last season, he bossed Villa away, Chelsea at home, Newcastle away, Leicester away. He comes up in games, like he's never going to be somebody that starts every single game, but he does tend to come up big in quite a few. And his energy is great. You know, he's a good like coach, kind of like second coach or whatever. He's just good vibes. And I feel like sometimes you do need those characters. My caveat to that was always they need to be quality players. And I feel like sometimes we've had these characters in the team where it's like we love them for what they do off the pitch, but like when they're on it, we're like, oh my God, fucking shoot me. Like seriously. So J20, at least you can like watch him play and see the quality. Like, I'm sorry, but like when people are like, we have to keep Rob around because of what he is off the pitch, I'm just like, fucking kill me. Like, seriously, like, can we have both? Like, can they be quality? Like, like be serious, you know? So.
Way too much sentiment at the club, man. But in Jorginho's case, where there's quality, you can make a case for it, really.
Yeah, exactly. This is a good question. How do you view Onana from Everton, the rumor is not going away as a possible replacement for Partey.
I mean, there's got to be some legitimacy in it. You know, we was apparently looking at him when he was at Lille. You'd imagine scouts have followed him over there at Everton. He's 22 years of age. He obviously would be a physical presence in the void Partey's leaving. I know we've got Declan Rice. He's 22. It would make sense. It's just Everton are going to ask for a stupid amount of money. And, you know, again, I'm not a fly on the wall at London Coley. Big up, Graham. I'm not a fly on the wall in London Coley, so I don't know. But you would imagine Onana is somewhere on the list, probably after a Douglas Luiz or a Zubamendi and things like that. So it depends on the fee. You know, again, I wouldn't want Everton to get relegated because I think Arsenal and Everton are the only teams that haven't. But if they did get relegated, that obviously makes the case stronger. But I think Arsenal, like Onana, it's not enough to be paying 60 odd million quid that you see with the rumours. Now, obviously, rumours and what they're actually asking for are very different things. But yeah, I wouldn't mind Onana in the squad. He wouldn't be my first choice, though.
Yeah, if I was if I was greedy, I would want both Zubamendi and Onana, but we're not going to be able to be greedy. So yeah, he's definitely wouldn't be top of my list. When I watch him, I just don't see what other people are seeing. Like, I just genuinely do not see it. Like, I see he's obviously like a supreme athlete and like he can get up and down the pitch and he can carry the ball and all that.
That's last season at Everton Park, to be fair. Well, Goodison Park.
Who did it? Who did it?
True, but he ran this. I give him that.
Came up, bopped us at home. Freaking Caicedo came, killed us at home. Like, who didn't have the game of their life? Like, didn't take much, towards the end. But I think he could be a part of our squad. But if that was like our marquee midfield signing, I would probably be like, what are we about to do here? Like, I don't, if you're frustrated by, I mean, maybe I'm being an asshole. I don't know. We need a passer in there, and he ain't a passer. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, his passing levels are good, but in comparison to a Zubamendi, a Spanish midfielder, and definitely Douglas Luiz, like, I think Douglas Luiz has got a lot more about him. And to be fair, someone of Douglas Luiz's skill set might be my first choice, really, as much as I like Zubamendi, purely because he can play as an 8 and a 6. They might say, you know what, we've got two birds with one stone. We've got Declan Rice, we've got Jorginho. We make up the difference with the Fabio Vieiras, the Kai Havertz's. Smith Rowe's probably not going to be here, but him as well. So yeah, man, I think Onana would probably be, if you couldn't get a Zubamendi, you couldn't get a Douglas Luiz, you couldn't get a name that I'm missing out that we've been linked with, then I'm probably looking at Onana. But yeah.
Yeah, like Jay is saying that we have a passer in Jorginho, and like I understand that, but Jorginho can't play every single game. And I'm just thinking about what is our midfield going to look like 90% of the time. I don't believe that moving forward we'll see so much chopping and changing in midfield. I do think Arteta will settle on a 3. And I think if he does settle on a 3, it'll be like a Zubamendi, Douglas Luiz, Declan Rice, and Odegaard. So my thought process on that is like Jorginho, just in case somebody gets injured, can step in and also play with another person. Like, I don't know if I believe that like having Jorginho as the passer means that we go for an Onana instead. Something about that just feels shaky,
And even with that comment with Jorginho, Declan Rice is the only one in that midfield. It doesn't matter what Arteta is planning, what his tactics, what conditions. Declan Rice is always going to be there. Jorginho, there's certain conditions. Partey, if fit, I guess he would start, but there it is. Kai Havertz, there's certain conditions for you to play in midfield. We need another midfielder that it doesn't matter what weather, you're a candidate to play in midfield, and you're that long-term partner of Declan Rice, because Declan Rice for a lot of this season has had to play as that 6 because he hasn't got someone next to him. He is becoming a bit more all-rounded, and you saw it against Newcastle with him galloping further up the field. Even there's been times where it might have even been against Liverpool where they like swapped the roles, where Jorginho was slightly further forward with Declan Rice behind him. So we need that partner, that all-weather sort of guy, man.
Yeah, for sure. I know some of you guys are asking about other players. We have other things we definitely need to get to, but like just really quick on Xavi Simons, like what is your thought process on?
Who wouldn't want him? Who wouldn't want him? PSG be stupid to let that versatile young star in the making leave, especially with their new project that they're going to do after Mbappe. Who wouldn't want Xavi Simons? So like I say, quality player, man.
I know there's some players that it's kind of like, of course I'd want that player. I just don't see us really doing it. So there you go. There's 150 of you guys in here. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel. We are actually going to move on to the next subject. We are going to talk about Arsenal's fully fit squad. So for this, let's I have so many windows open. It's actually shameful. I'm afraid to like share my screen. I'm like, yeah, pathetic. Why do I have so many open? Wow. All right. So let me just change this really quick. So yeah, we're gonna just kind of fly through this really quick. Mikel says basically like Thomas Partey has had a session before last game. Now he's done 2 consecutive sessions, so he should be a part of the squad on Monday. Zinchenko and Tomiyasu, those are possible, but we have to wait and see, especially with the last 2 sessions that we have on Saturday and Sunday. If that's the case, they might be available on Monday. And regarding Gabriel Jesus, Mikel doesn't expect Jesus to feature for the 90 minutes, but he could be involved from kickoff. So that's good news. He's fit enough, but obviously they want to manage him because dude's getting his knee drained before games. Like, it's serious. Like, the damage done was serious, you know? So yeah. And Timber will not be a part of Monday's squad as he continues his recovery from a long-term ACL injury. So those are the updates on the team. Out of all of those players that he mentioned in Gabriel Jesus, Zinchenko, Tommy, and Thomas Partey, out of those 4, who do you think is the most like that is going to be so pivotal for us in the next couple of matches? Is it obviously Thomas Partey, or it could be someone else?
Every single one of them. Every single one of them. Obviously I'd probably lean towards Jesus or Partey, but every single one of them, man. The games are coming thick and fast. Games are moving according to what other teams do in the Premier, in other competitions, and when we're playing them. Arteta has said we've got one of the finished squads, and you need your players fit for this moment of the season. Every one of those players, man. You look at our last 3-4 games in the Premier League, take nothing away from the squad, from the manager, and etc., and everyone who's coming's done well. But at the end of the day, it's not like Mikel Arteta chose to put these squad players or the players on the peripheral in the starting 11. He kind of had to do it because there's injuries, really. So every single one of them in their own ways. Would love to have Tomiyasu when we're going to, Man City. Jesus gives us a lot as well. Obviously, Thomas Partey is a quality player, and if he's able to stay fit at least for what remains of the season, to see him, Declan Rice, and obviously Odegaard together in a trio would be amazing. Take nothing away from Jorginho's impact. I do think, you look at Porto away. I think we could have even dealt with Zinchenko in terms of build-up play, man. So every last one of them, man.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think there's anyone that like particularly stands out for me. I think it's just like we just need bodies. Like, I'm really tired of like looking at the lineup and seeing like, or the bench and seeing the kids or freaking Cedric. Like, that needs to like end soon.
Shout out Cedric, man.
Yeah, shout out Cedric. But I don't. He is really like stealing a living. Like, honestly,
he's stealing it though, because no one put a gun to his head to sign that deal. No one told us to sign him. We're at his mercy, really. He's running down his contract, getting signing on bonus. I have to respect it from him. It's our L.
Oh my gosh, what an L to take.
Massive.
When you're loaned out in your prime, you know your shit. So I don't know what to tell you. All right, so we're gonna play a little game. We're gonna do a best 11 when everyone is fit. We know we'll never see this 11 because there'll never be a time where everyone is fit. But just for the sake of arguing, this will be fun because I feel like we're not going to agree. Let's go with.
Go ahead.
So we're both saying Raya, right?
Yeah, big up Ramsdale, but yeah, Raya. Man.
All right. Okay. So what are we thinking? Okay, let's do our center backs because we know like that's so obvious.
Yeah,
like no one
I mean,
really...
we can't disagree. Yeah. Unless you want to put Kirio in.
Okay.
Just asking.
Do you want to put Emile Smith-Rowe in the midfield, or?
I mean, you know what my number 10's on, isn't it? Really and truly, but he could.
Your number 10 is on the bench.
So yeah, that's what I wanted from Arteta. We need depth and things like that. If you can't, it's not what you've done, it's what you're doing. Big up Smith-Rowe, but I support Arsenal. I don't know where you're getting at with it.
Okay, so this is where it gets interesting. All right, so right back and left back. Let's start with right back. What are we thinking? Is it Ben? Like, it's just Ben?
For me, Benjamin White.
Okay, Fair.
Shout out
Fair.
Tommy Asu, but Benjamin White.
Okay.
With a bit of recency bias, Benjamin White.
So can we also like acknowledge that like I'm so sorry, but like everybody that is assuming that we bought Timber to play on the left is kind of deluded. Like, let's be serious. Like,
No, I mean he can play left
come
and right back.
come
We need
on.
options. We need
We
options. You've got him and Tommy Asu.
No. I
It's
think
about
we
partnerships.
got
Have you
him.
not seen the many different things Mikel
No.
Arteta has done? There'll be a reality where Tommy
No.
Asu and Timber are both playing together. There'll be time for Benjamin White and Zinchenko. You need depth. You need different options.
But
You need unpredictability according to
you
the game
bought
state.
we bought a right-sided center back, right back for left back. No,
He's
we
not
bought
Tommy
him
Asu can play all across the
bought him
back
for
four.
right back.
Back four.
We bought him for right back, and then
Did
Zinchenko.
Mikel Arteta tell you that?
Yes, he did. Actually, we just got
Fair
off
enough.
of
Man. Ask him why he signed Kai Havertz and not another midfielder than since you got everyone's speed now.
So, don't be surprised if he pops up on the right here and there. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But yeah,
I don't think anyone can be surprised. He's a versatile player, a bit like Tommy Asu.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll do what? Is he 26?
Yeah,
they're getting old. Shit. Okay, so left back. Is it just Timber?
Timber for me, man. Big up Tommy. Again, Timber for me. Tommy Asu and Zinchenko game state. I'm going with Timber. I've seen enough. 50 minutes in the official Prem game or not. I'm going with Timber for now. I think he gives us a lot. I'm going with Timber at left back.
Okay. Aw, that's good. Okay, so yeah, that sounds about right. I could argue you a little bit, but yeah. You're doing the most. Okay, so what about midfield?
Martin Wondergaard, Declan Rice, Thomas Partey.
Not Jorginho.
Game state. If you're saying when everybody's fit, if there's a gun to my head and I need to get 3 points, I'm going with everybody who I truly believe in, really.
Okay.
Big up everyone not mentioned, though. Like, again, we need a squad, but I'm just assuming this is a must win. If this is a cup final, these are the man I'm rocking with. Pardon?
Must win.
Must win. These are the man then.
Okay, so this is a must win. Okay, so we have Saka, right? And then we have Martinelli.
Yeah.
Correct.
Trossard, sorry, man. Yeah.
You hate Trossard, so
I do not hate Trossard. The dead will the slander. If I've said a man is the best finisher at the club, how can I hate
so much? Like you literally hate him so much.
Don't let that slander be folks, man. I can't believe this.
Listen,
she already said I was late and then lied. So are you not believing her? Boy.
Yeah, you should be believing me because listen, like
okay, the truth is shame the devil, man.
Okay, so like here, like Jorginho, like I would say this might be controversial, but I do feel like Jorginho's had more big games like than Thomas Partey. So if we're talking about we just need to win the game, I don't think there's much of besides just liking Thomas Partey and thinking he's better, he actually hasn't shown up for the big games as much as Jorginho. So I think this is very harsh on Jorginho.
I think that's recency bias, and I think it's quite even. If I'm honest with you, I think the only question.
What big games? Name them. Name them.
Are we forgetting when he partnered with what's his face, man, with El Nene at Old Trafford? Are we forgetting the games? Are we forgetting? Like,
there were
please,
no fans in the stand.
If we're gonna be silly, we could go on YouTube and just go and look at Thomas Partey, man. Let's not be silly. Let's not be silly. I said it's even between them. Let's not be silly.
You're shameless. You're so shameless.
How's that shameless? The difference of opinion does not mean you're shameless. Like, let's not be silly. Like,
super
and it's coming from someone that is tired of Thomas Partey. But,
oh my gosh, so shameless.
I mean, you just got to listen to what Mikel Arteta says about Thomas Partey, even though the man can't stay fit.
I mean, Arteta says he loves Ramsdale, and we know that guy's gone. Good is gone. Arteta's saying he likes you in the press conference, almost like a kiss of death. Like you're gone.
Fair enough.
Oh my gosh. No, this is probably just about right, but it is harsh on Jorginho because again,
I think it's even for the big games. I just think you're suffering from recency bias and not giving Partey a bit of credit in that regard.
No, I'm not suffering from anything. I'm suffering from just reality. Like what? Like, come on. Let's see. Justin J says Partey played in the trenches with Holding and Murray. Tyro says Partey, whether he plays or not, is absent in big games. Period. I mean,
fair
it's
enough.
a conversation.
If we're gonna do all of that, like, shall we forgetting Jorginho again? And I'm not even getting at Jorginho because I
No,
agree.
no, 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 no.
Everybody has good or bad games. We forgetting Spurs. We forgetting him and Zinchenko, Chelsea away. If we're gonna do all of that, it's gonna get silly. Like players have good or bad games.
We've never beat City in the league until Jorginho was started the game.
Right. Big up Jorginho. But if Partey was fit, I'm pretty sure we know what's gonna happen. You know, you could argue Thomas Partey even playing right back on paper shows you what Arteta thinks of the man. Once again, the man needs to go. I'm more betting on Jorginho. I just think it's even for big games. They're two good players. But you ask me if everybody's fit and it's a must win, that's what I'm going with. But again, football's a funny old game. You look at West Ham, you look at Liverpool, and you look at City. Did we win those games necessarily with our strongest team that you or I would put out there? This is why you need a squad. Thomas Partey as well, Community Shield. Did was it not Tomiyasu, Partey, and Kai Havertz when they came off the bench against City? Take nothing away from the players who played. Let's not have short memories. Oh, I hear it though.
Community Shield, he says.
English Super Cup. We played against City. Like, how can we look like, whoa, it's a big game against Man City? What really? That's 2 City games with Partey. So I don't know what we did. Like, I don't know what we did.
All right. Partey came in and contributed to our win. So did Kai. So should Kai start every game? Let's be serious. All right.
Again, so it depends to the game state. This is why we need a squad.
Okay.
We got Mikel Arteta.
Okay. And who plays that striker? Everybody's fully fit.
My Brazilian Gabriel Jesus, Trossard and Havertz. I'm sorry, but Jesus, man.
I mean, Havertz did play in the Community Shield when we won. He started.
Havertz is lit up front. You know, Havertz has more standout moments up front. But I'm probably going to go with Gabriel Jesus.
So you're going to go with Jinky over, like, proven results?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Jesus. I'm going with Jesus.
These Wenger babies are wild. I think I'll go with Kai, actually.
I thought she knew Arsenal. Damn.
Oh, well, I guess he's proven he's deluded. Damn. TVG says, controversial, but if we're in the final versus City, for example, I'm starting Havertz up top over Jesus.
That's it, bro. Havertz is good in the big games up front. I like Havertz up front. If anything, you're better there than in midfield, per se.
It's interesting because if we're in a big game against City, I do think that I back Kai to score in that game more than Jesus just about. But I also know that there's not going to be like zero presence out there. I just feel like sometimes it does feel like there's nobody up there because there is no one up there. Like he's just not there, you know? So it really does, like D Shadow says, depends on the type of game, you know, against like Man United and Spurs and Chelsea, Jesus. Against Liverpool and City, it's Kai because like they have bigger, stronger center backs, you know, that I don't feel like you necessarily need Jinky. You definitely need somebody just up there. So yeah, let's say, let's go with Jesus because this is like most people I feel like would vote for Jesus. But this is really off of like 4 these like good months at Arsenal. Like you need to, but actually I feel really bad for Jesus because like that knee injury is so unfortunate. Like it's not, you know, like there's nothing he can do about that. That like there's so much damage in the knee that it has to be drained now. Like I feel bad for him.
Damn.
Yeah, that sucks, you know. So this is like our King and Kedia. Don't make me laugh. All right, so this is it. This is a very good lineup that we know we'll never see. We know we're never seeing this. Like, how much would you bet that we'll never see this lineup? Seriously. Like, come on.
To be fair, you know, you're not going to see that, man. You'd probably take Jesus out for Havertz, Jorginho in for Partey, Tomiyasu somewhere as well, if I'm honest. But this is why we need a squad.
I love that.
We need a squad. I'll tell you, we've got one of the fittest squads. Like, don't beef me, beef the manager. I just listen to the gaffer. Like, I'm not an expert like you. I apologize.
Okay. But yeah, you guys let us know if you kind of like agree with this or not. I'm going to fly through some of these comments. And then we're going to kind of talk about the strikers too. Unknown one says Timber is back, baby. I'm super excited about that. Tawana says, nah, Jesus is annoying me. AMD says, are there no moderators in the chat? Sometimes there are, sometimes they're not. I don't know where Nico and the Arsenal perspective are, but those are my moderators, and they're not here. So
You only got 2 months.
yeah, like I
You're
like
stingy, man.
I don't really do mods. Like, I mean, I could do more, but I add them and then they're not here. So it's
She
like,
doesn't rate some of you. Some of you are probably hearing all the vids in the
no,
live streams.
see, no, stop. Okay,
Well, this was
wait.
a community thing. Damn. Got all these
Okay,
people
wait.
giving up their day and to listen to you, or better yet, us. And they can't even get mods. I see a couple people that are in my chats of mods. But hey, this is how she treats you, lot. You know, she lies about me and Trossard and about me being late. And now look.
Why are you here if you're being treated so poorly?
But hey,
Be
I don't know,
serious.
man. I'm toxic like that. I don't know. I do this for the love of the game. I do this for the love of football,
Oh
man.
my
Talking
goodness.
Arsenal with my fellow peers.
Wayne says, I thought you knew Arsenal. I guess you're deluded. Yeah, we're
Yeah,
just,
it was a good comeback.
I don't
Still,
know.
my name was that. I
Crispy
was like,
says,
damn. I made a
Crispy says,
mistake like Jorginho when we scored in the North London derby, did it?
please don't make me do this. Please don't
Listen,
make
I'll pick up
me
Jorginho. That happened. I'm not mocking him. That happened. That literally happened.
It did
He's had
happen.
no good games. Everyone's
But
made mistakes.
Partey allowed Lavia to show up to the Emirates and outplay
No,
him.
I
in
don't
one
care
of our
about Partey like that. I
in
care
one of
about my
those
team.
matches
Everyone's been good
in
and
the
crap.
run-in.
You're talking like
He also
Partey. You're
tried
talking
to
like
chip
Partey is my
it
brother or
over
something. I
Declan
don't care about
Rice.
him like that.
He also tried to chip it over Declan Rice when we're 2-0 up.
Yeah,
And
bro,
like,
I don't care about Thomas
like,
Partey like that. You're talking like that's my dog. Like,
I mean, you sounded like he's your
I'm
dog
on the
because
Arsenal
Jorginho
team.
low
Get paid.
key be
Some
in
of
this
these guys
lineup.
must be paying you because you're backing
Jorginho
some
could
of these
low
man
key be in this
religiously.
lineup.
I hope Kirill gave you his signing on bonus as well, man.
Kiwior's been good lately.
He's been good.
And you're mad because you know you're about to be
Why
wrong.
would I be mad if this is one thing that I get slandered about? Yeah,
Oh,
what have I said about Kirill? The man needs confidence.
You said you hate him. You said
I said I hate him. Rise up the evidence, lawyers, please. Rise up the evidence. I said I hate Kirill. There's only one player in this team I hate, you know, and he's on the bench, and I can't even hate him because he didn't take we gave him this sort of situation. I don't hate a single player. I've said I like Kirill. I'm not gonna blow smoke up a guy's ass. Like the jury's still out. You're doing your thing. I rate Kirill. I like him. Polish international in that. When had an education in Italy, Arteta brought you. That's enough for me. You was dissing Havertz.
How long before you mentioned him messing?
How long did you diss Havertz? And now you're singing his praises about the games. She knows Arsenal guys and girls. Fair enough.
I remember the big games that Thomas Partey played because they were very few, and when he did play, he was not great.
Yeah, his attendance is crap.
And Jorginho's mistake is way less terrible than him being injured and walking off the pitch in the middle of a play against.
Bro, they're both making mistakes. They both play good. I don't beef none of them. They all play for my team. Like, I don't know what you're trying to get me into. I don't care about.
Oh my gosh, you're okay. I'm done. I'm so done.
I don't know what you're getting at.
No,
like, I don't know what you're getting at.
I'm done. Crispy Rice says I haven't given up on Jesus. It's just that we're rolling with Kai. Fair enough. Let's see. Crispy Rice. Amazing. You've been a member for 20 months. That is a long freaking time. That's like maybe like more than half of the time I've had the channel. So thank you so much for all your support. I really appreciate it. You're the best. D Shadow says Partey and Jesus being fit at the same time. Laugh out loud. Exactly. We're seeing this. Let's be serious. Let's see what else. Tawana says Eddie wearing 14 is jarring. I don't know why that's so funny to me. Second Soj says Kiwi seems to be starting to adapt. He's impressed me with his application last few games. I can't lie. Exactly. Anybody with two eyes that understand the game would like rate Kiwior. I don't know. It's just so easy. Let's see. Tawana, I'm not reading any more of your comments. Social Droid says, actually, Ramsdale's shakiness cost Southampton game. Man, passed it to their player. The less said about that, the better.
I thought everybody in the team takes responsibility. I didn't know we just blame individuals, whether that's Jorginho, Partey, Aaron Ramsdale, etc. Like I thought there was 11 players out there, even like with the Porto thing. You know, as I said, I support Arsenal. I'm not in the shenanigans like some.
Oh my god!
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know. Last time I checked, there's a squad.
Okay. So this is our best 11. Somebody asked if we could do it like with like modifications to the starting 11 based on like transfers. So that's what we're going to bring in the striker conversation. We're going to replace Jesus with a striker. Okay. But before that, we'll actually replace them with a couple of different players. This would be interesting. But according to reports, Arsenal have like basically like almost like a 4-man shortlist or 4 strikers that we've looked at. And it's Eucharist, Xerxes, Osimhen, and Tony. So from 1 to 4, 1 being the person you like the most, how would you rank those strikers?
I mean, none of them 100% convinced me, man. Osimhen first. Who else did you say? You said Osimhen, Tony, the sporting lad, then Xerxes, right? Right?
Yeah.
I'd say Osimhen first. The more I educate myself on the individual's names on the screen, is the more I kind of like him, you know, and I'm still not convinced because I don't have an informed opinion, but I would say the sporting lad second, then I would go with Tony, then probably the Xerxes fella.
Yeah. I kind of agree with that. I would probably just, I don't know, you know how I feel about Tony, but Xerxes just feels more project-ish, and I'm not sure that's what we need. Eucharist is an interesting one because you guys let us know, like, huh?
He's almost like a wild card, this Eucharist.
Yeah, he is. You guys make sure you give us your rankings for the 4 in the chat. I just feel like it's so unknown because we know strikers to go to the Portuguese league and do quite well. But I do think that league translates well to the Premier League. We've seen players go from that league to the Premier League and be able to like deal with the physicality and stuff like that. And when you actually like use the eye test, he does look very good, Eucharist. But you know, some people will say like, oh, he flopped at Swansea. He was in the Championship before this. But you know, I was watching like a little
Coventry this season. Even so, that's what I'm saying. I need to do my research.
Yeah, he was at Coventry and he was also at Swansea, but at Coventry, he was really good. And when he left Coventry, he had like West Ham wanted him, a couple of different like Premier League clubs wanted him. So it had
as well. So he's hitting that kind of right region for strikers.
Yeah, I mean, had he not gone to Sporting, he would be in the Premier League. We just don't know what he'd be doing in the Premier League, but I just feel like when somebody has like 30 goals and like 10 assists in a season so far, you kind of have to look at them. At least give it some credence, right? So he's a wild card. He would definitely be like second for me behind like Osimhen, but I really do like him. I feel like he just looks the part, and I don't know how to explain it, but he looks like somebody that could come to the Premier League and do some damage.
He looks decent. Like I said, to me, he's a wild card. And the more I watch of him, the more I kind of like him. But I ain't got an informed opinion, which I hope the club have on all of these players, all of these strikers. But they all present a gamble. I don't think there's one. Some are probably more convincing than others, but I don't think there's one striker that 100% has any fans' confidence. Like 100%.
Do you think that's why, like, if there's a gamble on like players from outside of the league, that's why Arsenal should go for somebody like a Tony to make sure that you don't have that adaptation issue? Or would you be kind of like excited to see Arsenal maybe take a risk on somebody outside the league? Like, what is your feeling on that? Like, are you totally bought in on Prem Proven, or do you feel like, you know, it's worth it to go outside of the league?
I think, you know, I have to sit on the fence because it just comes down to if the player's going to do the business, really and truly. You could buy players from the Prem, which we have, and they've had success, but we've also had Willian, Cedric, and these kind of players that have played in the Premier League and flopped. Obviously, you know, I'd say to us fans, obviously, if you've watched the Premier League, you're probably more seeing Tony than the sporting lad. So I guess there's that. But also at the same time, I also believe it doesn't matter where footballers are. If you're a good footballer in Portugal, you know, you can be a good footballer in England. Of course, you're going to have to adapt to tactics and pace and intensity and all of that jazz, which I think is more specifically on the player. You know, you look at Kyrgios as well, for example, and other players like Tomiyasu hit the ground running. So I think there's some external factors in that. But I just don't. I just think a lot's made of it. You know, just get the good players. If you've got the mentality, if you're good enough, you can play anywhere really and truly. You know, even if you look at Kai Havertz, like, you know, it's taken him a while to truly look somewhat comfortable in an Arsenal shirt. The same goes for David Raya as well. So it's a bit like that, really. I just want the right player, man. Like, I just want the right player. I don't really care where you find him. I understand the confidence in Tony, but then if Ivan Tony signs for us and he's not quite looking like the Brentford Ivan Tony in an Arsenal shirt, what's said then? I don't know what Nuno Tavares comments about. He needs to go, but fair enough.
The Nuno one is like I said, players do well coming from the Portuguese league to the Premier League, and they say Nuno. I'm like, but Nuno's just shit. Like, he was shit there, and he's shit now. Like, I'm talking about like good players, like, you know what I mean. But I really do like Icarus. He would probably be, because I still don't believe in my heart of heart we're gonna get Osimhen. I just feel like he's gonna do something else. He would be my number one choice. Should we put him in our 11?
Yeah, you might as well. If we're both saying he's number one, yeah.
Let's put him in our 11.
I thought he's going for Osimhen in your number one. Fair enough.
I mean, we could put Osimhen in there, because I know somebody's probably like, oh. Okay, so yeah, there you go. Okay, so that's that. Like, so if we take Thomas Partey out, let's put in Zubimendi. Okay. And everything else probably would stay the same, right? What do you think about left wing? Do you think if like we were to get a Pedro Neto or something like that, Martinelli would be in jeopardy? Or do you think it's like, nah, he's good?
I mean, I wouldn't say jeopardy, but if a winger comes in, you'd imagine Martinelli has to probably look over his shoulders a lot more than Bukayo Saka, really, because it's very unlikely we're going to sign a winger, that's going to dislodge Bukayo Saka. So, yeah, man, it seems like if anywhere's open season in the front three positions, it's obviously up front with Jesus' absence and the range of strikers we've seen up there. Saka's a mainstay up there. So, yeah, it probably would be Martinelli.
You guys let me know in the comment section if you guys want me to put somebody else in that left wing position, because I'll put Pedro Neto there if you guys want me to. But just in general, how are we feeling about that? Next season, if we go into the season with that, how are you feeling? Are you feeling confident that we'll win something? Do you think it's more than just like recruiting properly? Do you think it's about like, you know, Arteta and his tactics? Like, what do you think? Like, that is it's good on paper, right?
You said it there. Obviously, signings are one thing, and, you know, definitely signing players. I think we're at that point now where we need to sign players. I know everyone's not going to be 105 million Declan Rice, but we need to sign players that lift this team, really. We need that striker that's going to get 20, 30 league goals. We need that central midfielder that is above everything, has the same quality of Declan Rice in that they're always fit. Obviously, as much as it's about signings, especially in England, you know, money gets you out of everything. The first solution is to sign, but it's also about developing players to the next level. For these players that are already in the team, keep going to the next level. And also just about, you know, keep doing what we do good, and obviously looking at our weaknesses. You know, sometimes, you know, you look through December, there's things there. I would say it's just that. I think there's many things on the coaching front and tactically with Mikel Arteta to get us to that next level that's going to be as important, if not more, than just the signings. But saying that, signings wouldn't go amiss, really, because we can't really keep doing this, really and truly. You know, there's several key players that on a consistent basis are out. And you look at that starting 11, Jess, and I know Saliba's had a mad injury and whatnot, and Odegaard had a concussion, but how many players are going to be fit for the vast majority of the season? Declan Rice, 100%. Saka's going to be running to the ground, 100%. The two centre-backs, 100%. Benjamin White doesn't get enough credit for his durability. Not to diss Raya or Ramsdale, but their goalies is a bit different, so they would be there. Timber obviously had a massive injury, so I'd cut him a bit of slack there. The jury's still out in that regard. But we need players who are fit and available on a consistent basis for me, man.
Yeah, agreed, for sure. Just as many players as we can get moved down the pecking order that are injury prone, the better, and slowly shift out the door. Like, I'm not trying to be harsh, but whether it's like just unlucky or whatever, like genuinely, like I cannot do another season of, oh my God, everyone is injured. Like, I just,
same stories.
Yeah, it's the same people over and over again. And I do have concerns about like going into next season once again with Zinchenko and Tomiyasu as our backup fullbacks, because that puts a lot of pressure on Timber and White. And I'm just like, you know, in theory, you would think like, well, if they're not playing as many games, they'll stay fit. But I still don't necessarily believe that that's the truth. I feel like as soon as they get out there, boom, muscle's gone. They do it in training. They do it on international duty. Like they're cooked, you know? So I have concerns, but at the same time, like we have so many different areas that need to be addressed that it may just be the case that we go into another season with those guys back up, and it is what it is. But second show says have to be level raisers that come in now. I know a lot of people are saying like they're not sold on Zubamendi, which I kind of understand. Um, I'm sold on Zubamendi. I think Arteta is as well, but I can see De Jong in the thing. I just think he's like almost like Stockholm syndrome from Barcelona. It's like he is trapped there, and like he's just like, I love being here. I love being here, even though I don't think they like him like that. I don't think they fuck with him like that. Like I really don't. But I think
They're broke. He's someone that can, get them out the hood really and truly if they sell him.
yeah. He just seems so like hell bent on staying there. So yeah, I like Frankie De Jong. You guys know he'd be like my dream signing, but I'm just trying to stay a little bit more realistic. But yeah, last but not least, I do want to talk about the schedule changes really quick, just to keep you guys like updated on what's going on with that, because they're quite significant and will probably have an impact on the title race. So because Chelsea won yesterday, our game against them is moved to, it's going to be between April 23rd and 25th. So basically, between Porto and the Manchester City game, we're going to have a big gap. We're going to play March 12th against Porto, and then against City, we play on March 31st. So that is like a massive, like 2-week break, if not more than that. Like that's significant. Then what happens in April is instead of playing Chelsea earlier, we're going to play away to Wolves on April 20th, then home to Chelsea between April 23rd and 25th, and then away to Tottenham on April 27th. So basically you have 3 games in 1 week, 2 that are London derbies, and even Wolves away is tricky. I think Wolves away is tricky. So seeing, is there any benefit to having that? Let's start there. Is there any benefit to having that massive break, or do you think that could be a little bit of like a momentum slower downer, if that makes sense?
I mean, obviously, you said it there, just
Yeah.
like, yeah, it could kill momentum as well, really, especially, God forbid, but if we lose going into that, as you know, the best thing to get over is to win. But with our Finn squad, or one of the Finnish squads in the league, as Arteta himself said, that could help. And in relation to what you said about, the games coming thick and fast, we knew what time it was. We knew entering into the Premier League and the Champions League in August, and assuming, which we didn't, we went far in the FA and League Cup. We knew what the dynamics were. So we're going to have to get on with it. Like, the games have been coming. Mikel Arteta said it a few months ago, like the best players have to be able to play in a competitive league like this and with a fixture calendar list like this. So, yeah, like, I don't think we could have any complaints or be scared. Like, we just have to get on with it. Whoever is out there now, as you know, as an Arsenal fan yourself, Jess, we don't know what the climate around our players and fitness and sentiment and form is going to be saying, but just get on with it. I say, man, just get on with it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, there's just nothing. You just have to be ready. Like, I don't know what to tell you. We have to beat City or get something at the Etihad. If we want to be in the title race, like there's nothing else to really say, and it's a difficult game. We haven't won there. Like, when's the last time we fucking won there? In 2015?
And Santi and Coquelin were in the midfield.
Yeah,
so
like it's been a long time. So
ridiculously
long. Yeah, but like in those 2 weeks, I just expect like everybody to come back after, like, genuinely, if people are not back for March 31st, I'm gonna have like major questions. Like, we should have our fully fit squad going to the Etihad. Now, April is where I'm like, this is kind of reminding me of the run that we had. We had like City, Spurs, and Chelsea very quickly, and like a European fixture in between. And we weren't really up to like our top level, like, and we dropped points to both Chelsea and Spurs where I don't think we should have. That's what this reminds me of. This little run away to Wolves, not easy. Home to Chelsea should be easy, but fuck them. And then away to Tottenham, which is going to be like their whole life is going to be about stopping us doing something. So I'm a little worried about that. But like you said, the show must go on. Like, There is no real excuse. Like, you guys just kind of have to get it done. Like, we have another really difficult end to the season, which is why that those December fixtures and losing those games was so like heartbreaking, because you saw this coming. So hopefully, we're ready for this. But this is why having the Tomiyasus and Zinchenko, Jesus, Thomas Partey back is so important, because we're literally going to have 3 games in 1 week right before the season is over that could make or break everything, and 2 of them are London derbies. Like, it just, like, the fuck. Like, it's like, damn. Like, why can't we just play Sheffield in them at the end? Like, why is this here? Like, I don't get it. Because the end of last season was hard too, I felt.
It was, man, but we have to be thankful, really. We've got a couple of big fixtures out of the way, really. What Newcastle's done, Chelsea do seem to turn it on for the bigger games. That away's done. We've got some difficult games, man. We can say what we like about Manchester United, but we don't travel well to Old Trafford. Spurs, it could go either way, even though I expect to win. We've got to play Chelsea at our place. We can't sleep on the Wolves and the Brightons. And to be honest, we're getting to that part of the season now where I hope it's not a case on Monday. I expect to batter Sheffield United, but you start to see some shockers. It sounds cliche, but every game's difficult, man. But what are we supposed to do? Be scared? You lot knew in August what you're going into. And this is definitely a lot more rosier than when we was fighting for top 4. It didn't have the ability to even get top 4. So the boys and the team and the manager just relish it and let's go for it, man. Really, like, what are we gonna do? Be scared? Get on with it, man. Really. Stand up to be counted.
Agreed. All right, you guys, we're gonna end it there. Have to keep it going, because we're also gonna do a show on your channel, right after this.
Correct.
We're gonna, if you guys just want to go over there, you guys can, like,
10 minutes.
In 10 minutes. So, but yeah, you guys, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel on your way out. Get in the comments after and let me know what you guys thought about everything we spoke about. And like I said, we'll be on the Lutage channel in 10 minutes. So yeah,
4:10 p.m. folks.
Yeah. So yeah, talk to you guys later. Bye.